Hi, hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Higher and Beyond. This is the place for us to learn with each other about personal development, personal growth, and self improvement. And I have my guest speaker here, Shruti. Welcome to my show. Thank you.
Hello, thank you, Uni. Thank you for inviting me over.
It's a pleasure, Shruti. But okay, before we are going to go into the a wonderful conversation, I'm going to introduce you to my audience. So, for all of you guys who doesn't know who is Shruti, Shruti is a full-time IT professional, certified life coach, and NLP practitioner. And with all of this, she pursues her love for writing through her blogs, share her thoughts through the podcast channel, also express through her paintings, clear her mind through runs and trekking. But most of all, she loves being a mom. This is so interesting, Shruti, because you know what? Being a mom is it's a beautiful and it's you love being a mom, but at the same time you are a full-time mom career, a women career. You
Yes.
know what? And it's something that really um, curious about being a mom. You have a lot of passion and you love doing many things such as running, trekking, writing the blogs, and podcasts, and etc. etc. I mean, how do you balance your love for all of those beside of being a full-time a mom and working career mother full-time?
That's a very, very interesting question and a very good question. I don't believe I have a recipe or a direct answer to that. Um, but yes, the most important thing is one that I have realized is no, I cannot balance everything. It is very, very difficult to create that daily balance. But what I yes do is I do prioritize. I every day morning when I get up, I do have this schedule, some going on in my head and some written down. So I do segregate my professional commitments to my personal commitments, and within that, I basically jot down my day, how it is going to be. So I don't set too much expectations out of me because I know I only have those many hours, and within those hours, what is achievable is what I try to achieve. So I wouldn't, again, coming back to your question, I do not know if I can say that I balance them, but yes, I do prioritize my day, so that at least whatever I would have set in the morning, be it the professional or be it on the personal side, I achieve some bit of it. That's what I do. Uni, I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry, sorry for that. Oh my gosh, it's like talking about balance because you have a lot of things to do as a mother,
Yes.
and you mentioned about balance in here, and
Yes.
then there's no such as balance because what I know, I'm thinking about, I want to balance everything. I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. I want everything is in balance. But
Yes.
what does that mean by balancing? And there's, is it true that there's no balance in life? No, and things like that. I mean, I'm curious. You know what? Sometimes we're okay. It's a balance. How can we live balance? We life balance and etc. etc. How do you want to share about the balance thought?
So see, when we talk about balance or the even the word balancing, right? The only picture that comes to my mind, there are two things that come to my mind. One is that the balance scale that usually, if you go and check on the net, you have that balance scale, right? The two sides
Yeah.
of it. That is, you put equal weights on both the sides, it's balanced. But then the thing is, it only has two sides to it, only two arms to it. If you look at us, mothers, women, I mean, all the working women or mothers, and you add everything to that, you would see I picture myself as somebody having multiple limbs, I mean, multiple hands, and trying to do a lot many things together. So now, when you picture something like that, a balance with multiple arms to it, imagine how is it possible that you balance everything together? It's not going to happen. There's something or the other which is always going to get tip off. But yes, there can be a balance in terms of when you look from a holistic view. I mean, when you look not from a day to day perspective, but from your life as a journey perspective, that you maintain balance with regards to the fact that you have a professional commitments, you have personal commitments, and then there is you, right? When I say personal commitments, I'm more talking about family and all the responsibilities that come along with it. When I'm talking about professional commitment, I'm talking about work, the one that is paying you, and all the commitments that come with it. But between this, there is also something called as me. So what I try at least to do is, while like I said earlier, also on a day-to-day basis, yes, I cannot make a balance. I cannot do all the things on the same day, but I do plan out my week. I do plan out my month. So just to ensure that there is time for everything. There is when I'm in office, I'm only doing my work in office. When I'm but I also have a cutoff at particular time in the day. I just define that timeline, that after this time belongs to me, to my family, or whatever other work that I have. And that is, in my way, is how I try to create that balance. Otherwise, on a day-to-day basis, if you ask me, like I said, that image, I don't think you can ever create that perfection is something I don't even try to achieve these days. Not specifically after becoming a mother, no.
Mm, yeah. And oh gosh, it's something that, okay, my question is, there's prioritize when we do something, we focus on that thing. So, what are actually some practical strategies for managing time and prioritizing the task as a working mother? As a, what, you have a good career, but you
Right.
are love being a mother, but you
Yes.
have a lot of patience in your life.
Yes. Yeah. So that's another interesting question out there, and I think it is, again, it is very subjective. It has a perspective of each one of us, how we manage our days together. But when you ask me about these strategies or how do you prioritize, I think one answer is right there in the question: prioritizing. So, prioritizing your day. Like I said, every day morning. So, if I take a step back, before I was a mother, my life was more about work. All I used to do is work. I didn't even think that there is anything outside work. You work and you come back home, you eat and you sleep. That is how that was what my life was. But after having my baby, after having my kid, is when I actually realized how life takes that U-turn. That is, you take a pause and then you realize that this is not life. Life is much more than just something that is paying you. It is much more than just doing whatever is asked of you or the expectations that we generally live. So therein, something at that point in time, I would say, is when I actually sat back and I made a conscious effort of listing down or prioritizing what is important to me. What is it that I want to do? So when I asked myself these questions, do I still want to continue working? The answer was yes. Do I still want to basically, do I want to pursue my passions still? The answer was yes. And obviously, I was already a mother, so there was no question there. And it was our choice, my husband's and my choice, to bring a life in this world. So it was something that we basically take care of that life, give the time that it deserves, right? The kid. So that very point in time, my priorities all of a sudden became very clear. That first comes my kid, then comes everything else. So even today, every day, like I said, every morning when I get up, I am very clear in the head. I do ask my son every day, what is your schedule? How is your schedule looking like? uh, if it is something really urgent, I do take care of the urgent things first. So there is this quadrant, right? Important, urgent, not important, urgent, urgent but not important, and neither of those. So this is what we also use in our professional life. So this is and in the workspace this works very well. But I have also kind of extended it to my personal life as well. I try and put, I wouldn't say that I sit down and make all of these quadrants and write down, but yes, in my head, I sort out how does my day look like, what all that is needed to be achieved. Whatever is my office commitment is my office commitment. That time I am unable to, and I do not kind of mix my personal commitments with my professional commitments. But before and after, then basically my priorities of the day step in. If there is something that I have to take care for my son or his school and things like those, obviously they become my priority. But then my morning always starts with my fitness routine. That time is for nobody but just for me. So I get up decently early in the morning. The morning 1 2 hours are only for me, for my fitness and whatever I want to do. After that, I have my breakfast, I start my office, and then everything else comes into picture. So what I do is I just slot and I respect those boundaries. So it sometimes feels very difficult for me even to say no to people, but then I have learned to say those no's, draw those lines, and basically try and achieve whatever I have set the goal for my day. That's what I do.
Oh wow. So basically is how you as a mother and career women how know how to prioritize in daily life. And beside of that, you mentioned also the boundary, which is it's not that easy to say no to people, but you manage to do that
Yes, I do
to
that.
to yeah, to have time for yourself, to take care everything, even though there is some kind of questioning about the balance. But yeah, by the way, do you have any support systems or resources to actually, you know what I mean, um, being available and to to help a working mother out there in the world, or how to navigate the challenges, because as a mother it's not that easy. We have a lot of things, oh gosh, you know what.
Yeah, I can completely understand that. Yes, that each one of us, I think,
Yeah.
has. I think each one of us can actually relate to what you are right now asking and what we are talking about. So yes, and like you said, without a support system, I doubt that any of this is possible, right? I mean, without creating any kind of support, trying to achieve what we are trying to achieve in a day is not doable. But then when you talk about the resources, I am also conscious of the fact that it does take either the money, time, or energy, right? So resources are more with regards to how much you can spend on certain things. And spending is not only the dollar cost, but it's not only the currency cost, but also your time and the effort that is put in. So so with regards to the support system, so I have to thank my husband for that. So my husband, my son themselves, they are my support system. So we have kind of inculcated that kind of the individuality in our son, that he is able to take care of his things himself, except for some of the obviously the kitchen stuff where he's not allowed to use the stove and all. But other than that, he manages his own schedule. My husband is very, very supportive because each one of us wants to pursue our passions along with all of this. I have helps. I use technology to my best use, however it can help me, wherever it can help me, all the machines, the gadgets that you get these days. So I think, and then you have your friends to fall back on, and you outsource whatever you best can outsource. So when you take all of this create all of this network with friends, family, with the paid help, with these gadgets, with this technology, I think it does give you, every minute saved gives you that space to do or pursue what you want or how you want to spend it, rather than you doing everything. When you kind of outsource certain things, that time that is created is a time for you. It's time saved that you can use it for something that you want to do it. So I think that is where I would say that support system, the resources are in there. But the only thing that I take care is, like I said, I look at the three aspects. One is the cost, one is the energy that you have to put in, basically the effort that you have to put in. and the time. And I look which one of these three is more important, more possible, and what I can spend on that particular given point in time. So between these three factors, I rotate, I make my decisions, and I create my support system, or I get those resources to help me moving. That's what I do.
Yeah. So you have the very important three aspects to help you to navigate yourself and to overcome the kind of challenges as a mother and career women. All
Yes.
right. Hmm. Okay. So does that actually easy for you if you have that three aspect to help you in this journey as a mother and career woman?
It's not easy for me
Mm-hmm.
because at every point, while you have things at your, I mean, there are things which can help you, but a lot of time also goes in aligning all of this, right? First, you have to make a decision. You have to look at these parameters and see what is going to work for you, which one of this is that you can spend. Uh, every situation, every ask comes with its own kind of challenges, right? Not everything is super easy. Sometimes things they just simply work without you having to put an effort. Sometimes even when you have planned out everything, you think you have taken care of everything, there is life throws you a curveball and you're like, oh, I never planned for this, and you're back to square one, scratching your head that what next can I do. And sometimes you just have to accept it. So I think the only thing is that I have learned to be a little more flexible, a little more adaptable, a little more okay, accepting that not everything can I control. Even with the money, with time, with effort, whatever I all this planning and prioritization, my plan can still fail. I might not get what I want. I have kind of accepted, and with that regard, so there are certain parameters just outside my control. I have learned to be okay with it, okay to be not okay with it. So basically, even if things are not going my way, I basically take a step back, I breathe, I give myself that time, but I don't kill myself over it. I just remind myself I did what I could, it did not work. Now what, how do I come out of it, or what best can I do? So I basically try and find how to move forward rather than trying and basically getting caught in that loop of, oh my god, now what will I do? So
Yeah, it's interesting about acceptance in here,
yeah.
um, and being flexible about something that we plan. Sometimes we don't know, is it our plan it's going to be successful or not. Sometimes it could be failed, but you mentioned that I did what you could do. And where did you learn and how did you learn to have this kind of resilience? I must say the acceptance within yourself, to face all of the things that happening in life, unknown and etc. etc.
Right. I mean, how did I learn? I think life is the best teacher. It teaches
Yeah.
you every day. It teaches you every day. There are every time that you fall or you fail, or things don't go the way that how you wanted them or how you planned for them. Um, I think I have been blessed with friends, with family, with support system around me. That kind of gives me that kind of strength and energy to move forward. um, there have been a lot of incidents in my life that have taught me very very hard. It is a hard way to learn, but I have learned it the hard way, that you have to suck it up sometimes. You still have to move on. You still have to basically, and you only have you just have two choices, right? Either you give into it, or you suck it up, stand straight, you take whatever life is giving you, and you move forward. I have done both, and then I realized at least smiling and moving forward or at least finding out a way how to move forward has worked better for me. Better in terms that at least I have not spent time or wasted more time trying and pitying myself. So I think for me, the major life lessons have come from my own life and the things that happened in my life. Uh, and the other is, yes, I very consciously took up these studies and the courses on life coaching, on NLP. I have been reading, I have read a lot, many books. Behind me, you'll see, I don't know, a stack of books. And these are some of my very, very favorite books. So I think reading, I'm an avid reader. Life itself, like I said, I like to go out on treks and all. So things around you, they teach you, and the resilience, I think it comes by nature also. I mean, that's that I would say is even when my father, that is where I think I have inherited it, and then I have added more onto it. So
Wow, yeah. So beside of the support, you also learn from the life, because life, I think, is the best teacher. Um, in for human, I must say, right, for everyone, anyway, yeah. And how does that actually, the support system is important in life, because sometimes as a mother, there are out there also, beside a mother, there are a single mother,
yeah,
who need to take care of the kids, and
yes,
beside of that also they need to go to work as a
yeah,
career woman, as you have a support. And how
yeah.
does that important to have a support? And how about a single mother with a full-time job, and beside of that also taking care of the kids?
Managing it. It's a I mean, even whether you're single or you have your partner with you, I think being a mother itself is a difficult job. You learn every day along with your kids, and how much ever you do is never enough. As a mother, I think when I look at things, I think parenting is one of the most difficult jobs, and the most, I mean, there is no set way of doing a parenting, right? Whatever you do can be right, can be wrong. You never know. You just learn with all those experiences. But then when we talk about the support system, one when I start about the support system for anybody, whether you are a single mother or you are basically you have your partner with you, I think without it, and specifically when you're working, you are not at home, but you are actually working, doing something or pursuing your passion. You basically without it, I doubt much can be done. There'll be a lot of frustration built in because you can then only do only so much. Either you take care of your kid, or you take care of your commitments, or you take care of your office, the work commitments. Managing everything because you only have that many hours in the day. Support system might not necessarily only be friends and family. It can also, like when my son was young, and both my husband and I, this is pre-COVID, we used to go to office. Now those 8 hours, 9 hours of the time that you spend in the office, where do you keep the kid? So we basically went for a daycare, a crush kind of setup, where the kid is safe, and you know he's safe, and you take care there. So that was the kind of support system we built. We basically hired a help at home who could at least on weekends take care of the kids, so that we could do the rest of the things that we were not able to do over the week. So I think without having either your friends, family, paid help, or the daycare kind of setups, it is a challenge. And I have seen a lot of my friends having to basically then make that hard decision, either to pursue your work commitments or to be a full-time parent to the kid. And uh, and then you take away the partner from there, and you talk about only being just one person, and with all these hats on the head and all the responsibilities on the head. I think it's an uphill task. It's doable. It's an uphill task. The sooner we create that network around us, the trusted network and the support system, the more better it would be. I mean, eventually, see, everything comes on to us, right? We, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I'll be responsible because that's my kid. But then,
Mhm.
with help, there was this actually for some write up I wrote this, that alone you are strong, but together you are stronger. right? So
Wow.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think this is where what it applies, that one person can only do so much, but when you have at least a group, you can achieve more, a lot. And I think that that is where it explains the support systems that each of one of us needs.
Mm, yeah. So basically, with a support system, or well, basically, even though you are a single mother or you are a mother, you have a partner, being a mother is a challenging. And talking about the importance of the support system, it's actually not only from the family, but from some people that you trusted, like for example, the community or people that you trusted in this case.
Right.
And yeah, so as an employee, who's working and you have a career also, and how to create more supportive and flexible work environment for working mother. Is it possible to do that, or it's
No, it is. So companies these days have become, specifically after COVID, I have noticed that companies have become little more aware, much more aware, not little more, much more aware of the necessity of supporting their employees. Now we are only talking about a mother, but if you look at it, there are fathers too. So if we talk about for parents, right? The first thing is this flexible work model, the hybrid models that we are now talking about, that every workplace is these days practicing, that allowed each one of us to spend more time with the family. So that includes your kids, right? So whether your father or your mother, you're able to spend more time. That connection improved. For at least from in my case, I saw my relationship, my connection with my kid improving because I had this flexibility. I was better able to manage my schedule because my travel time got minused, right? So that time that I could save, I could use it better either on the work commitments on my family time. So that was one thing. The other thing is that yes, the workplaces have become very, very conscious about this fact. They not every company, but some companies have even given this. The maternity leaves have increased, paternal leaves have increased. People are acknowledging and accepting that even fathers need a holiday for their kids, and it's all right to take a holiday. It's nothing wrong. The acceptance overall has improved. People are now more openly talking about basically being a full time dad or being a full time mom and trying and balancing. There are so many opportunities coming up for women who can basically join the workforce after their maternity break. So companies are taking those initiatives to reskill, to upskill women who took a break because of their maternity or childcare or whatever in these kind of setups. So I have so many of my friends who have joined back the work because the companies have become more sensitive towards the necessity of supporting parents. I should not say only mothers, but yes, much of them are targeted towards women also, but open to any kind of talent, which basically, I mean, reskilling the talent and bringing that force back into the work. So the companies also have become sensitive and they realize the necessity. And I think this necessity has more come into the forefront after COVID when people realize that how, or, I mean, the dynamics changed.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. So I think it sounds like this is not a good news, but it's also really helpful for not only a mother but many employers who work in this company, so that they have more a little bit flexibility to connect, especially with our family, whoever is that. Do
Yes,
you have
yes.
any? Do you find any common misconception in this situation about a working mother, um, and how can they be addressed in this case? Yeah, I mean, I can relate with that, but there are some company too. They not, you're not allowed to bring whatever kids. You're not allowed to take unpaid leave because There's some, especially in my country. You know what? Okay. Do you have, is there any some common misconception or how they can be addressed as a working mother and stuff like that, if that makes sense?
Is your question more with regards to the workplace or overall misconceptions with regards to working mothers in the society as well?
I must say working mother for now, and then we can elaborate that into, we talk about employers, not only a working mother in this case.
All right, all right. So, misconceptions. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what misconceptions are. But when you're working, I think most of the people, when the mothers are working, when the women are working, in most of the, I can only talk about my own society or community because this is where I have been brought up. This is where I have lived most of my life. But most of the cultures I've seen that people one look at you with the regards that, oh, so it means that you're not spending enough time with your kids, so you are more after money, or you're more running after work is more priority for you, and look at your kids, they are nobody's taking care of them. And that kind of, it's not said in words, but you can feel that, because and you can feel that directed towards you, that this kind of thought, or this kind of the non-verbal things are directed towards you, that you're just not doing enough, so what if you're working, but your kids are anyways being neglected. And in India especially, kids getting 90 plus and 100 plus and 90 95 plus is something that is being super uh, at academics is what is expected. And that expectation is set with mostly with the mothers, that if you would have given enough attention to them, your kid would have scored so much. So I think this is changing. I shouldn't say that these days everybody looks at the mother, but yes, the undercurrent does talk about that. But more than over all of this, uni, I think it is the expectations or the image that we want to live up to. So I would not want to say, I would not want to put it on others, or I would not want to say what others expect out of me. But I
Yeah.
think it is my own expectation, my own, the pressure that I put myself under to kind of meet a particular image, an image that I have created of myself. Obviously, looking at all of these things, that I should be able to manage work, home, kid, everything should be fine, should be good for me. And trying to live up to that image is something that kills me, right? It puts me under a lot of stress. So I think I, I don't know if I answer your question or not, but more than the misconceptions are these are the undercurrent statements, or these are the undercurrent expectations that we have from our own selves than anybody else putting it on us. So I don't know if
Oh,
I answered you or not.
you know what? It's. I'm curious about the guiltiness because I personally experienced that. Like, I'm putting a lot of pressure within myself, and I feel guilty about if I'm not close enough with my kids. I'm afraid that something else going to say bad things about me, and etc. etc. And as a mother, I'm really I'm curious about it. How can we as a mother to be there and not feeling guilty about our expectation? This is interesting one. Yeah.
Yes, it is indeed interesting. I think, yeah, I mean, because all my friends, most of my friends, I shouldn't say all, but whoever I talk to, somewhere or the other, we always have this feeling that we do not do enough. We have not done enough. There is something always missing. Or I missed a class for my kid, and he wanted me to be there, and I missed it, and I feel bad about it. But like I said, over the years now, along with him, he's a kid. He's growing up. I'm also growing up with him as a parent every day. I mean, so it's not only him that he's learning. Even I'm learning to be a parent with him. And this is the hard way that I have learned. Like I said earlier, I have learned to be okay to not to be perfect. I have, it takes me time, yes. I do get into, I mean, I do kind of feel low at times, but then I find out, I talk to myself, I sit, I talk to myself, I tell myself, this is best what I could do, this is best what I have done. Uh, Next time, if it happens, I will see what different can I do. But for now, this is done. I need to move forward. So that is a self talk that I usually make to myself to get out of it. I wouldn't say that it works all the time. But then again, like I said, I have learned to accept it. I have learned to acknowledge my emotions. I have learned to be okay how I am feeling. But every time I make an effort to get out of that mood, I don't let that mood hang on me for more than like a few minutes, a few hours. Beyond that, I do not give in to it. So that's an effort that I have made on myself. And this is learning. Like I said, learning every day along with my kid. So I'm also a first time parent. so,
Okay.
so yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so being okay and coming back to the acceptance, because as far as I learn about the acceptance is it's not that easy things to do, right? Especially um, I'm not sure if I accept this. Sometimes I don't even think about am I actually accepting this or not. Instead of why am I doing this? Why did I do that? Focusing on the negative. So coming back to the self-talk and negative, well, the self-talk inside of ourselves as a person, and I think this is also something that we learned in NLP too. If you remember that,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So did you actually use this kind of technique from the NLP and along the way the life coaching that you've been studying, so it made you who you are, and having this acceptance along the way as a mother and working mother.
Yes, I think you are what you said is I think is spot on. The studies that the courses that I took with regards to life coaching with NLP, and with that, like I said, I read a lot of books. I have been reading a lot of books, and much of these learnings. So it's not that I did not know that you need to think good to feel good, because it's the thought that starts creating all those emotions in you. So I, as a kid also, right, we write those quotes in the school and everything, where you learn, come across these quotes, but you never actually pay attention to what you're writing or what you're speaking, or how they basically actually impact you. When you dive a little deeper into these concepts is when you actually realize how it works. One of the people I would want to call out is Virginia Sataya, and some a lady. I think I have been very very impressed by her work. I have been reading a lot of books written by her, and I think reframing was one of her concepts, which was obviously incorporated in NLP. Uh, that, I mean, you can always speak what you want to speak, right? You can always start, I don't want to do this, I don't like this, I feel low. It takes an effort to basically just reframe that sentence and say, fine, things are not going good, what else can I do, what different can I do? uh, it has happened, what do I do to get out of it, what do I do to move forward? So what is the past is the past. So I think all these books, these authors, yes, they have left a big impression. And every time that I find myself in these kind of sticky situations, specifically something that kind of pulls me down,
Yeah.
I do draw inspiration from what I have read, what I have learned, and mostly from these experiences. So
Mm, yeah. Um, that was a beautiful, point in there. Instead of using the reframing in this in the, I must say, in daily life, because this is important, because sometimes our thought and our self talk is in there, and then most of the time we use the ego to just say whatever inside in our head, and then boom, we don't realize that it's gonna hurt people, others, or someone else, right? So this is an interesting one. So how do you think with all of this kind of things, it's come easily, like you flip up your hand, or do you process it through the experience that you have, or after you learn these kind of skills, it goes there right away, or you need to process it, or um, you have the experience, you learn step by step.
I wouldn't say, so. See, these are the tools, right? These are your resources, resources where you can draw inspiration from, which you can leverage, and when you find yourself in those kind of situations. Whether do you use them every time is a question I think that's difficult to answer, mostly because much depends upon what kind of scenario you are stuck in now, or what kind of personality you are. So, the kind of person I am, it takes me a lot of effort to implement what I have learned. It is my default is so strong that I usually want to just give in into whatever. If I want certain things done, I just want to just not think too much, just get it done. It takes me effort to step back, to process, to implement what I have learned, so that at least my long term solutions are better than my immediate things. So for a person like me, I think it is much personality driven, and how much you bring all of this into practice every day. Um, I have become better. I wouldn't say that I'm there, but yes, I do process. I do take a little pause. I remind myself. I implement. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. But I always try. I try. That's what I do.
But young mother, you've shared a lot of beautiful insight on your podcast. You will also have the blog talking about. I learn a lot from your blog too. That you've written in there, and I listen from to your podcast too. I mean, from there I can learn, and I receive a lot of value from there. And for me also, that you were my young women inspiration, that I learned from you too, from everything that you've just shared, especially also in the blogs and on the podcast. um, I'm curious about, where did you get this motivation to start your personal development journey? You working on your personal growth, especially you are um, as a women career, you are also prioritizing and how to balance it, even though there's no balance, because the acceptance. Where did you actually get this motivation to be the person who you are with a lot of value?
I think that I will give it to my son. My whole intent was to improve my relationship with my kid. So that was my initial thought. So I wanted to be be a good parent, at least making an effort to keep the relationship with him healthy, where he is able to talk to us more openly without having any kind of inhibitions, where we are able to show him or inculcate those values in him, that respect, what you talk, how you talk, what you give is what you get. So, unless we kind of imbibe it or we kind of practice it, that it is very difficult to teach him something that I do not myself do or I do not know how to do. I cannot teach him. So, you can get all the academic studies, academic knowledge from the books, the school and everything, colleges, they'll teach you that. But this aspect of life, basically being a good human, having those ethics and values, and why they are important. That once you, how you can better talk. So it's not only about your relation with the society outside, but it's also about your own self, how you take care of your own self. So I think that is where, that is what it was. I wanted to be able to reflect or live that kind of life for him. Show him that this is also doable. You don't always have to look outside. You can look within. You have a lot of things within you that you can leverage. All you need to know is that all you need is that those tools to basically put it forth. So I think, like I said, in long story short, the motivation was my son. I just wanted to have a good relationship with him where I am basically walking what I am talking. So, so that's
Yeah.
that.
So it's sometime being a mother is also it's not sometime, most of the time, being a mother is really, it's a wonderful something that we can learn along the way without stopping. I think it's the same with the personal growth, that every day is the day to learn about life.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
So
Yes.
yeah. So Shruti, do you have if you would like to give a message to a woman who has the career and and as a mother, um, what message that you would like to share to them? It's like, because it's not easy.
Yes, it's not easy. I think you said
Yeah.
it. It's not easy,
Mhm.
but then it is doable. All that we need to do is believe in ourselves,
I
and
love that.
I think it is okay to fail. It is okay not to achieve. It is okay to feel low. But what is more important is to believe in yourself and to get out of it. I think that is the most important thing. That to know that you're not alone. There are people. There are people like us everywhere. All you need to do is ask. Just ask, and help will be there. But you need to take that step. I think there is nothing that I can add or share as a message, but because each one of us is unique, each one of us has our own strengths and uh, own beliefs that we believe in. But this is where I would want to possibly just add that whoever I am enough. Whatever I am enough. So that's what I want to say. That this is what I believe in. That what I have, what I am, what I'm trying to do is enough, and I'm okay with it.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm enough and I'm okay with it. So, which is, there is a belief in ourselves and accepting for whatever happened in life, which is, I can relate with that, is being grateful for who we are
Yes,
without putting down ourselves, because the
that's true.
moment we putting down ourselves, we blame and feeling not good enough is the attitude that we don't believe with ourselves.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. um Gratitude, acceptance, and believe in ourselves. And for all of that, I think this is also the key to move forward in life, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And what you
Yeah.
just said is very, very true. These are the aspects. I mean, whether you are a mother, whether you are working, whether you are a parent, whatever capacity we are, I think all of these, irrespective, help us live a good life, right? And like you said, being grateful for what you have, having knowing that. itself basically makes you realize that what we have is good enough. What better can you do? You need to figure that out. So
Yeah. Sometimes people, ask me how I believe in myself, but why this is not working. So coming back to the acceptance again and gratitude in this case, and I think also learn about anything like personal development, such as um, skills, NLP, or anything that can help you move forward in your life journey. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Shruti. Do you have anything else that you would like to share to the people and our audience here?
I would just like to say, smile. Life is good. Just take it as it comes. So thank
Amazing.
you very
So
much.
yes, it's amazing. So thank you very much, Shruti, and for all of you guys who want to watch and listen. I mean, listen the podcast from Shruti. I'll put the link in the description and including the blogs that Shruti write in here. So thank you very much, Shruti, for your time. It's
Thank you
been
so much.
insightful conversation in this case. Hope it's going to bring the value for our audience in here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.